Tonight, let me tell you a story where silence is not the end, but the beginning of hope. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by forests and stars, a princess was born. Her name was Aurora. On the day of her birth, the castle was filled with music and flowers. Bells rang from every tower, and villagers carried baskets of roses to the gates. The king and queen smiled with tears in their eyes as the three good fairies arrived, their wings glittering like morning dew. One gave her the gift of kindness, another the gift of beauty, and the third prepared to bless her with the gift of song. But before the last blessing could be spoken, a dark fairy appeared, her cloak as black as midnight. With a voice like thunder, she declared, "On her 16th birthday, the princess shall prick her finger on a spinning wheel and fall into a sleep that lasts forever." Gasps filled the hall. The king and queen clutched their baby close. The three good fairies, though shaken, stepped forward together and softened the curse. She will not die, but only sleep, until true love's courage awakens her. From that day, the castle lived under both shadow and hope. Aurora grew with laughter in the gardens, but whispers of the curse always followed. And so, the years passed, each one carrying her closer to the day foretold. On her 16th birthday, curiosity led Aurora to a lonely tower where an old spindle lay waiting. The moment her finger touched it, she fell. Her eyes closed, her breath slowed, and silence spread across the castle. A servant froze mid-step, a tray slipping from her hand, but never touching the ground. A musician's bow hung in the air, the last note caught in his strings. Even the candle flames stilled, as though time itself had been locked away. And outside the castle walls, thorny vines began to grow. Each year, they twisted higher and sharper, curling over windows and swallowing doors, until the castle vanished behind a wall of brambles. Years folded into decades. Snow melted, flowers bloomed, storms came and passed, and still the princess slept. The world outside changed, but within the castle, time stood still. Travelers spoke of a hidden castle, its towers barely seen through the forest mist. Birds sometimes circled above, only to veer away, unsettled by the brambles below. In distant villages, children whispered tales of a sleeping princess, while elders warned them not to wander too far. Yet in her dreams, Aurora was not entirely lost. She wandered through gardens of light, where roses whispered, "Hold on, the story is not over." Though unseen by all, hope quietly breathed within her. One night, when the stars were especially bright, a rainbow glow shimmered over the thorns. Gently, Luan the Unicorn stepped forward, her rainbow mane flowing like dawn, her horn glowing with soft light. She walked through the silent halls, her hooves echoing softly, until she reached the sleeping princess. Kneeling down, she whispered, "Sleep is not the end. Even in stillness, your heart gathers quiet strength, like roots growing deep beneath the earth." With her brush, Luan painted a rose that shimmered with golden light, its glow spilling softly into the silence. Its light spread gently, softening the thorns outside. Where the light touched, the vines seemed less cruel, as if they too were waiting with patience instead of anger. Outside the castle, the painted rose glowed through every season. In winter, its colors shone against the snow. In spring, it bloomed brighter than the wildflowers beyond the gates. Travelers who glimpsed it from afar carried tales of a strange light guarding the brambles. And within the tower, Aurora's lips curved into the faintest smile, as if she had heard. The rose glowed on, reminding the world, hope does not vanish. It waits, steady and alive. And so the castle remained in sleep, but no longer in despair. The princess was no longer just a figure lost in silence. She rested in quiet strength, while around her, roses glowed faintly and thorns bowed their heads, waiting with her for the daylight would return. Maybe the question was never about who would save her, but when she would realize the strength she already carried. Every dream at rest is only a dawn in disguise.